No life can be better spent than in teaching. We honour the work our teachers do, we salute the sacrifices they make, and we applaud their commitment to our children. I won't stop pressing, pushing or fighting. That is why we have already passed legislation. We will target those schools. We'll take radical action to deal with those schools. Because this radical reforming coalition government has declared war.
Michael Gove has dashed the hopes of thousands more parents, teachers and pupils.
I think teachers will be alarmed when they see the speed at which the government is moving to essentially dismantle state education.
What is intolerable is that he has cynically raised the hopes of hundreds and thousands of families.
Life is still proving uncomfortable for the English Education Secretary, Michael Gove.
I couldn't live with myself if, having been given the chance to serve, I put the enjoyment of office before the power to do good. One of the tragedies of the last 10 years has been our failure as a country to keep pace with the world's best education systems. In the most recent PISA survey, we've plummeted down the international league tables, from 4th to 16th place in science, 7th to 17th in literacy, and we've plummeted from being 8th in the world for the quality of our children in mathematics to 24th.
After the 2006 round of PISA, I pointed out that actually the country had improved because the number of countries had doubled.
Particular care to avoid making comparisons which could be interpreted as statistically problematic.
The international comparisons are stop. We've plummeted down the international league tables.
Graham's student said that you're risking a mess and you need to stop taking the urgency pills.
Well, every morning I wake up and I take as many urgency pills as I can.
And my message is change is coming, get out of the way. Becoming an academy is a liberation. It gives heads real freedom to make a difference. Longer school days, better paid teachers, innovative approaches to the curriculum. The principle of autonomy-driven improvement is solidly backed by rigorous international evidence.
There is no high-performing system in the world that operates on the basis of we'll make every school autonomous and good things will happen.
The Academies programme is not, as you all know, about ideology. The real ideologues are the enemies of the Academies programme and the enemies of promise.
I don't want Michael Gove gambling with my children's education.
They said that our promises of rising standards were overblown. The percentage point increase in pupils achieving 5 good GCSEs, including English and Maths, was double that of other schools.
This is a very impressive graph about academies. From 2008 to 2011, they did marvellously. They went up by 19%. These are schools, each of which has had millions pumped into them. But bring in the non-academies, and lo and behold, they went up by an almost identical amount.
Some 55 new free schools will be opening this month. They're state-funded, but not under local authority control.
In Sweden, academic studies confirm that pupils at these schools get better results than pupils at traditional schools.
Research from Sweden has said quite clearly there's been an increase in racial and social division in schools where the free schools have been set up, and evidence that educational standards have actually started to fall.
In America, where the charter school system implemented by New York and Chicago is perhaps the quintessential model of school autonomy, the results are extraordinary.
A Stanford University survey of charter schools in 16 states offers a mixed academic report card. Nearly half showed no difference, and more than 1/3 of the charter schools were actually worse than their public school counterparts.
There has been a lot of concern about the level of profit making, and they tend to say that they do really well. The independent research is showing that they're not performing very well.
We believe it is time for the race to the bottom to end. We believe that it is time to tackle dumbing down, and we believe that it is time to raise aspirations and to restore rigour. I'd like to give professionals more freedom, but I know what's best.
That's exactly the point, isn't it? And that is the incoherence, because you can't resist coming out with prescriptive lists.
Pope, Dryden, Keats, Shelley, Swift, Byron, Milton's verse, Newton's breakthrough, Leibniz's genius. We urgently need to ensure that our children study rigorous disciplines instead of pseudo-subjects.
I'm quoting, "A self-directed learner takes responsibility for their learning, questions, reflects and perseveres in a pursuit of learning, is adaptable and resilient, knows themselves, is discerning in judgment, thinks independently." That's the aims of the curriculum in Singapore.
Well, let me be clear. It is time to restore rigour.
He says it's about rigour. Actually, rigour is achieved through engaging, imaginative, high-quality and creative teaching, not through dispiriting, fact-only based rote learning. That's not a recipe for rigour, it's a recipe for rigor mortis.
Secretary of State.
Teaching morale matters. I think it's the noblest profession, the highest calling. And I want teaching to be a much more respected profession in this country.
Morale amongst teachers has dropped dramatically. The figures are quite staggering, actually. Just 5% felt that this current coalition government's impact on the education system was positive. The government is attacking pay and conditions.
The School Teachers Review Body does recommend much greater freedom to individual schools to set pay in line with performance.
Is that code for doing away with national pay awards?
It's explicit, it's not code. It's just plain common sense to pay good teachers more.
The Education Secretary, Michael Gove, has tonight infuriated unions.
I have a simple message to those union general secretaries. Don't let your ideology hold back our children. This grotesque failure to give all our fellow citizens an equal chance is a reproach to our conscience. It cannot be allowed to continue.